This morning's guest is the Director of Public Support for the American Red Cross. She needs your support. Find out what it's all about coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at Pepper Gettings Recreation Center here on Oak Street in the heart of Myrtle Beach. We're focused on disaster preparedness, and we're visiting with the Director of Public Support for the Coastal South Carolina chapter of the American Red Cross, Nanci Conley. Good morning,
Nanci.
Good morning. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me here this morning.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
I think last time we were together, you were actually with Bill McCown down at Garden City Furniture as he was talking about the Heroes campaign for the Coastal South Carolina chapter of the ARC. How'd that go?
That went very well. We raised over $60,000.
Wow, great.
Unfortunately, $60,000 versus $110,000 spent on disaster assistance.
A lot going on with the American Red Cross right now, and a lot of fires you talked about since the first of the month.
I'm completely overwhelmed and surprised that since July 1st, we've responded to over 9 fires in the 3-county area. 35 people homeless because of fires in July.
That is terrible, Nanci. 35 folks in Horry, Georgetown, and Williamsburg County.
Correct.
Those are the 3 counties that you all serve, and of course those are such large counties. You've got the largest, the 4th largest, and Williamsburg's probably in the top 5 geographically of largest counties in the state of South Carolina. That's a big deal to cover all that territory.
It is. We're only able to do that because we have about 300 volunteers. Volunteers are the backbone to the Red Cross, and we use them. They come out 24/7 to respond to fires. They become part of our disaster action team members. We couldn't do it without them.
That's tremendous. Are there ever needs for volunteers even now, Nanci?
Every day. We can always use volunteers. One of the most important things that the Red Cross talks about is preparedness. And if we are going to be able to meet the needs of the folks in those 3 counties, we continually need to prepare.
Right.
And part of that is to gather volunteers and train them. The day that the disaster hit is not the time to be looking for volunteers.
Right,
they need to be trained.
Yes, very important point. If a viewer needs to get out of the house now or get off to work or otherwise, and speaking of training, is there a good phone number to call, or even do you all have a local website?
Both. They can contact the chapter at 477-0020 or visit our website at www.coastalscarc.org.
Okay, coastalscarc.org. Very easy. And you said 843-477-0020. And there's always someone there answering. I mean, not all the time, but during working hours. And of course, as you said, fires and hurricane preparedness and disaster preparedness in general, or those instances do not necessarily work on our time clock. Those can be late at night or early in the morning. The American Red Cross is ready.
Yes, we are prepared. Our volunteers go out all hours, and we do have an answering service. So there's always someone there to answer a phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Y'all's website has tremendous information on there, Nanci. Who keeps that up to date? It is constantly updated.
Yes, we have a wonderful website, and WebWorks, I believe,
Good, sure.
is the one who donates the services for that. And it's a phenomenal website. I've been very impressed by the quality and the professionalism.
Right, coastalscarc.org, which is wonderful. Right in front of us, I'm sure viewers at 7 a.m. on a Monday morning wonder, what the heck is all this stuff? They're used to seeing a Myrtle Beach Herald on a table, but what of all this other stuff here? Did that come out of this bag?
It did indeed. What this is our emergency preparedness bag. It's a wonderful backpack that I can tell you all this wonderful assorted trinkets come out of. This here is a supply for folks to be able to survive a disaster for 72 hours. If you were cut off from any type of assistance for a variety of reasons, let it be a hurricane, a flood, numerous, you could survive with this for that 72 hours. It all comes in this package. And this was a gift to me, actually.
Is that right?
Yes. When I left my other chapter, as a going-away present, they gave me my preparedness bag, so I would have one. And it's been a wonderful opportunity to have it, and I keep it right in the closet, right by the front door.
You know, I don't see any food here on the table, Nancy. How would I have some food to survive?
Have some nutritional.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Is that lunch
food.
or dinner?
That's
all three.
All of it. Everything
Breakfast,
you ever
lunch, and
wanted.
dinner. This says eat one bar every 6 hours per person. Eat in small pieces. So that means this must be set up for more than even one person.
Yes. And the package here includes 2 of those. So you have that. You have your water.
And it's got all the health, all the calories and the protein. That's when I wouldn't be worried about my diet, is during that 72 hours of an emergency. Although my daughter told me this morning I need to start thinking about what I'm eating, which is great. You've got a lot of great. What are some of the other items in here for viewers who can't see all that?
I think I like myself the radio. This is invaluable. It's a little battery-operated radio, AM, FM, TV.
Oh, good.
And it can clip right on your belt.
Right.
So you can be prepared. It's very important that you be able to hear what's going on during
during the disaster.
Yep. Glow sticks for light. I'm just in a course duct tape. Yeah, everybody knows you can fix anything with duct tape.
Right.
A whistle if no one can see you.
That's a great point.
So you can be heard.
Right.
First aid kit. Very compact, has everything that you would hopefully need.
Absolutely.
Plastic drop cloth. Filters to put over your mouth in case there's death or danger. Work gloves. Container to carry water in.
And you've got the water right here.
Yes,
2 bags of that.
The sterilized water for you to drink, and then if you need it for other things, you can put water in there as well.
More food here and batteries. And the batteries, I guess, are for the flashlight?
The flashlight and the radio.
And the radio. Excellent, excellent. All of this can be found in the Emergency Preparedness Kit, and the info and the link on how to purchase one is located there at coastalscarc.org.
Yes.
Okay, tremendous. You also have this very important, this is worth the cost of buying the bag in and of itself, the Family First Aid and Emergency Preparedness Manual, which is a good 20-some pages, almost 30 pages, but tremendous information and the opportunity to do, which has great reminders about first aid training and CPR training and all the needs of so many of the activities that the American Red Cross is involved in. Training is obviously of utmost importance.
It's imperative. We all need to be prepared, let it be for a disaster. We don't often realize that simple home fires are a disaster. Sun poisoning. I mean, there's a variety of things that are disaster that interrupt your life. And working with the Red Cross through our health and safety program, through our disaster preparedness program, your family can be prepared. And it has shown overall through national testing and surveys that if you are prepared, 70% of the time you suffer much less of a loss.
Really?
That's significant.
70%. That's tremendous, yes.
That's huge. So we really cannot encourage people enough to get out and be prepared.
Those are incredible percentages. I had no idea.
And being prepared is not just having items or taking classes. Being prepared is making sure your family's well prepared.
Right.
Do you have all your important papers in a fireproof, waterproof container?
I know I don't. That's very important.
Children's birth certificates, your immunizations records. I just know from my own experience of moving here in the last year or so, when I went to get a new driver's license, 5 forms of ID.
5 forms of ID.
I had to prove who I was and where I lived. Now, if you've suffered a fire or a hurricane or a flood or so forth, you don't necessarily have that. But if you've got that paperwork in a secure place, ATM machines are often down, so you better have some cash in there for yourself too. There's a whole variety. We actually do have a community program where we can come out to community groups free of charge and talk about how to be prepared for disasters.
If someone calls your 843-477-0020 number, could they learn about that? Getting you all out to come to talk to our groups?
Absolutely. And they can visit our website. There's, as you point out, a wealth of information on our website on various ways that you can be prepared so your family. One of the biggest things that the Red Cross itself has just brought out this year for the first time is our Safe and Well website.
Safe and Well website.
Yes, and this is very exciting because this is an opportunity. It's a tool. It's web-based, and let's say you have a relative here, and there's been a disaster, a hurricane.
Right.
And you don't know, you're out of the area, and you want to know how that relative is. You can go onto that website, and the relative can have gone on wherever they are, type in their information, and you can check on them.
Great.
And that works anywhere in the country. So if you want to check on family members who may be in the area where there's a major fire going on in the western part of the country, it works like that. So, and that again, go to our website, and
that's
you can find the
tremendous.
link.
There are links there
Yes.
to that. Safe and well. That's a tremendous idea, and something, of course, the Red Cross has been around long enough to be cutting edge, really on the forefront of ideas to make sure to help people out in whatever the emergency. So oftentimes you can't even imagine that something could happen, and I'm sure a lot of folks don't think, I'll be inflicted by a fire. So few people would ever imagine that would happen to them, but it could happen to anyone.
You're absolutely right. A fire can happen anytime, anywhere. It just happens.
You said you've been down here with the Coastal South Carolina chapter of the American Red Cross, Nancy, for a little over a year. Where were you before that?
I was in northeastern New York in the Albany region.
Okay.
I was there for...
Also with the Red Cross?
Yes, I was
for
there
how
for
long?
about a little over 6 years.
Is that right? Great. What spurred the interest in working with the American Red Cross back then?
I liked their mission.
Yeah.
I liked when I went and met with their CEO and I heard their mission, and I thought I knew about the Red Cross, but every day for the last 7 years I've learned something new.
Great.
It's a wonderful organization.
Yeah. Let's talk about, of course, here in the Myrtle Beach area and within the Coastal South Carolina chapter, we're thinking about hurricane preparedness. I know, as you highlighted, disasters could be of any sort. Whether you grab this bag running out of your house as the fire is ablazing, or if there's a hurricane, an impending hurricane coming up, the Red Cross has got ideas for how to help. But why do we need to prepare? I mean, what are some of the things there that are most important?
The most important, I would say, is that you need to have your plan. We strongly encourage everyone to leave the area. If the governor says it's a voluntary evacuation, evacuate.
Right.
Follow the routes, do what you need to do, but evacuate. Some people don't feel comfortable doing them. They wait for the mandatory. If you wait for the mandatory, it's a little bit more structured. It's a little more challenging getting out. We really, really encourage everyone to leave for your safety. And that's what we're here about. We're concerned about your safety. And the county emergency management has done a wonderful job. I mean, I've worked with Randy Webster and the other folks throughout the other counties. And they're just wonderful, and they are really on top of this, and we work very closely with them. We want people to be prepared. If you may not be able to get out for whatever reason, you need to know where the closest shelter are. You need to, the shelters are all listed on our website, they're on the county's websites, and so on. We really stress to people to go today and check out the route to the shelter. The time to learn how to get to a shelter is not the day of the disaster.
Important point, absolutely. Again, no one thinks that the disaster is going to happen at all, let alone that they're not going to be able to find it. So you're right. And all that's at coastalscarc.org.
Yes, it is.
Great. Could they also call your office for folks who don't have access to the internet or wouldn't even think about going to the library to go online? Could they call your office for that information? Great.
Absolutely. We always have folks more than willing to answer the questions to work with them. We want to see everyone safe.
Good. coastalscarc.org. You can't say that enough. One other thing we hadn't talked about, Nancy, you've got a big event coming up in about 12 days.
We certainly do. It's our largest fundraising special event of the year.
Is that right?
Yes.
Great. Good. I didn't know that. Good.
It is the Hurricane Golf Classic, and it's on Saturday, August 4th at True Blue Golf Club.
Good. Getting close, yes.
Yes, very
True
close.
Blue's a great course.
You're absolutely correct, and we're very excited to be partnering with them as well as McAllister's.
McAllister's Deli.
Yes.
Yeah, we love that place.
Sure
They've got
do.
a couple of them here on the Strand.
And they will be providing lunch to our golfers.
Really? That's worth signing up just to get lunch from McAllister's and being a True Blue.
And in addition to that, we have Martin's Golf Shop, who has donated for Hole-in-One a Hummer golf cart.
Is that right?
Yes.
A Hummer golf cart.
That would be kind of fun. I'd love to see someone win that. And on another hole, if you get a hole-in-one, you can receive $5,000 towards a cruise with Cruise One of Myrtle Beach.
Good. Hole-in-ones are probably tough to get, but exciting to have that kind of an incentive to really focus on your game.
Yes, it'd be a good time. We are still accepting applications at this point.
Okay,
so we certainly
good.
hope that people would call. It's $100 per player, $400 for a team.
Okay, great.
Lots of wonderful raffle prizes at the end, actually, and it's just going to be a wonderful day. And as I said, it is our largest fundraiser, and it's very important that the public comes out and supports us at this point, because everything we do is done with donated dollars.
For folks who don't play golf, can they still be a part of the tournament? Do you have any volunteer needs out there that day, or do you have any just opportunities? Can folks make a donation, or do you sell sponsorships on holes or hole signage?
Yes, we do. Right now, we don't need any more volunteers for the event.
Good.
Our volunteers
That's a great
have all
sign.
jumped up. Yes, we're very fortunate again to have a large following of volunteers. But hole sponsors are $150 for a hole sponsor. Or if you want a real treat, you can be a playing sponsor, which means for $500 you have your name on a hole, as well as a team. You come and play.
That's it? $500? You'd get so you get a $50 discount. The $400 that it would cost to get the foursome plus the $150 for the whole sponsorship, but you could do it for $500 to get both.
Yep.
That's tremendous, absolutely. And calling the 477-0020 number is the best place to sign up, or can they go online to sign up?
You can go online or give us a call, but the online is 24/7 as well, so that always works nicely.
That's great, absolutely. You get the information in. And of course, the great thing about True Blue being located in Georgetown County in such a tremendous course, it's really a prime location for your volunteers and other active donors and interested sponsors in Williamsburg County, Georgetown County, of course, so many folks here in Horry County. The opportunity to get down there. What a great day. And the layout of the day, I think that I see is registration and lunch provided by McAllister's there at 1 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have a shotgun start at 2:30.
Okay, great.
And that will be, then the game itself is captain's choice.
Good. Easy for great players like me. Yeah.
Come out and have fun. That's what it's all about. And there'll be all kinds of beverages throughout the days and snacks and so on to keep your energy up, and lots of water and so on. It's just going to be a great afternoon, and we're looking very forward to it. We've been doing this tournament now for several years.
Right.
And Charlie Thrash is our chairman of this, and Charlie is just superb at putting this tournament together, and he has worked long and hard, and we're really proud to have Charlie affiliated with us.
You've got a dedicated group of volunteers. You also have a great group of folks who help make the organization tick, Nancy. I know within the last year or so, Angela Nicholas, a couple of years maybe, Angela Nicholas was joined. And obviously you all merged with another chapter, I believe, to form the Coastal SC, Coastal South Carolina chapter of the American Red Cross. So there have been a lot of activities going on, but the needs have gotten greater. Rocco Salinari, is very active. Who are some of the other folks in the office day in and day out that help train volunteers?
We have Karen Anderson, who's our Director of Emergency Service, and her assistant is Ed Hester. And of course, the one important person we never speak of is Wendy Spring. Wendy is our office manager. She keeps us all organized. She's wonderful, the behind-the-scenes and financial person. But it's actually Ed and Karen who really focus on the disaster preparedness, and they have trained volunteers. We have volunteers every day. I would think there's 5 or 6 volunteers every day doing something forever.
Is that right?
And we have a coordinator, but she's a part-time person, Pat. And Pat has just got her hands full because she takes care of a lot of our activities and keep everybody going. And, you know, to be a volunteer of the Red Cross, you have to be trained, and we have to go through a screening and stuff like that. And that's all for your own protection as well. So we want to make sure, and then we give make sure everybody has an introduction, and we work with Step Up on how, you know, to train people to be good volunteers.
Valerie Harrington and the folks out there are working very hard.
Yes, we work very closely with them as well as lots of other organizations to meet our clients' needs. So we're very fortunate. There's 8 of us all total. We have Sandra Quinn, who is our Georgetown Service Director. And
she's one of the 8?
Yes, she is.
Golly.
There's 8 of us paid employees.
Right.
And about 300 plus, close to 400 volunteers that make it happen.
Probably even more that you're not thinking. I mean, there's just so many folks that are dedicated to the Red Cross, and you've got an active board as well.
Yes.
A very active board, and that board serves Horry, Georgetown, and Williamsburg County.
Yes, they do. And they represent all 3 counties as well. We have members from, all of our board members represent the county, so it's well distributed and so on. It's just a very impressive group. I've been pleased.
Absolutely. Golly, Nancy, you know, when you think about it, again, we highlight those 3 counties. Aside from fires and hurricanes, what are some of the other activities that the American Red Cross are focused on? You have a separate division that does the blood donations. Is that right?
Yes. Within the American Red Cross itself, there are 2 separate divisions. There's chapter services, which I am part of, and then there's blood services. We are 2 separate divisions, clearly based on the FDA requirements and guidelines.
Right.
Blood service is totally separate from us. But what we do at the chapter level is some people don't even realize the first and foremost reason the Red Cross was formed by a Congressional Act of Congress 126 years ago was to provide aid to military personnel and their families.
Is that right?
Yes.
It's principally from military personnel.
And
Yes,
families.
and y'all are still very active in supporting military personnel
Extremely.
and helping keep people in tune with their military loved one wherever they are.
This area in particular, I was quite taken by the numbers. I haven't seen the total numbers for the last 12 months, but the previous 12 months we helped over 1,300 military families. That's significant.
Nancy, I didn't know that.
600 plus emergency messages. We are the ones who verify. We are not the ones who grant the permission, but we are the ones who verify. For example, if you had a loved one who was in the military and there had been a death or some serious illness in your family, you would contact your local Red Cross. They would contact the head of the military unit that you're with. They would verify that information and then pass that on to the military.
Right.
And the military makes the decision if you're able to come home or what you will be doing. But the Red Cross did that over 600 times. And then the other thing is we work with closely is working with military loans. We are the conduit for that as well, and work with the military services.
I didn't know that.
Well, sometimes, unfortunately, folks get stuck in situations, and we're, again, the verifying one. We are not the ones who make the loans or make the determinations, but we're the ones that work with you to verify it and to keep those things going in that way. There's tremendous amount. And it's interesting, that is the first and foremost reason that we were formed. Disaster was second. To be able to prepare people and to respond to that, to prevent, prepare for, and respond to disasters in the United States.
And a lot of the disasters, and of course when you're involved with military members abroad, there are opportunities for the American Red Cross to make a difference all over the world.
Yes, there are. The interesting thing with our AFES program, Armed Forces Emergency Services, is there are literally Red Cross personnel everywhere in the world that we have American troops. There's a Red Cross person there to help.
Critical to think about. What are the most pressing needs right now, Nancy? Is it for volunteers? Is it for donations? Is it for, when you talk about 9 fires since the beginning of this month, the beginning of the fiscal year, a lot has to happen. You don't want to tap the resources now, and we've got another 11 plus months to work on. What's the most pressing need? Is it dollars that can help make sure you've got the manpower to train more volunteers? What is it?
I think you're correct in that the need is monetary. We're always in need of monetary for a lot of different reasons. One, we are responsible for raising our money locally to support ourselves locally. The chapter itself has a budget of approximately $800,000 a year.
Okay.
So that's significant to have to raise. About 2/3 of that we have to raise through fundraising venues. And what we do for emergency service provision is, I don't think people realize, we provide for the immediate emergency needs of a family who's had a fire. So that's food, clothing, and shelter. We give them the ability to have that. And we also work with them to link them with resources within our community. We work very closely with other community groups and so on, but we take care of that initial 48 to 72 hours. That's critical. And training. When you become a volunteer with the Red Cross, we do everything. We train you, we send you to training outside of the area and so forth. You as an individual are not expected to incur any cost personally.
Is that right?
Correct.
As a volunteer?
We work very hard to make sure that we are just so appreciative of what they do for us. Volunteers are the backbone of the Red Cross. And to have committed folks, and the volunteers that we have here in this area are wonderful. But you're always in need of new ones because you have people who are traveling a lot. This is a very active community we live in. And people come and go, and we need to always replenish that. We're in need of people who are willing to come out and help us do some more of our fundraising events, to do some of our marketing. We have all of our clerical staff is volunteers.
Is that right?
Yes.
That's tremendous.
They answer the phones, they do the computer work for us, print our letters, just a lot of that sort of thing. So monetary needs are first and foremost, along with volunteering. People with all different skill levels.
Lastly, Nancy, if a viewer is sitting at home right now watching and they feel, oh, I don't have the checkbook to be able to commit dollars, what are the requirements you need for them to be able to volunteer? Are you talking about clerical opportunities as well as trying to get the word out? If a viewer is watching right now and doesn't have access to funds, what can they do to help the American Red Cross?
They can pick up the phone, give us a call, come and meet with us to hear about all the numerous opportunities. Everyone has a talent to share. And we're so appreciative of those talents, and we can certainly put them to use. And I can tell you right now that the volunteers will just have such a worthwhile experience, because just being with the Red Cross for the 7 years I've been there, there's nothing better.
Right. Those are great words. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with the Director of Public Support, Nanci Conley, coming up next. Get out your pen and paper. Now's the time. Get it out. CoastalSCARC.org. CoastalSCARC.org or 843-477-0020. Critical phone number, critical website. 3 big counties geographically. That's part of the reason why those numbers are as startling, or aren't as startling, because they're such big counties, but those are terrible numbers. 9 fires since the 1st of July. Think about that. 35 people impacted by those 9 fires. 16 of them are children. Those are terrible numbers. You can make a difference, whether you're picking up the phone to call and say, I want to offer some time in the office, whether you're picking up the phone and saying, I want to buy a whole sponsorship of the golf tournament on August 4th, whether you're picking up the phone or going online to say, I want to get one of these emergency preparedness bags. They're a great deal for all this tremendous supplies and other information that you can get only in those bags. Go online to CoastalSCARC.org. And again, think of that. The shotgun starts at 2:30, but you can get out to register, get a tremendous lunch provided by McAllister's Deli at 1 o'clock, True Blue Golf Course. Call them, 477-0020. Make a difference for the American Red Cross. They need your help.